If you've heard me talking about self-publishing my book, you might think, wow, she must be a really motivated kind of girl. In truth, I haven't always been like this, and if you knew me in high school or uni, you probably know that I was a master procrastinator and I pretty much avoided any kind of hard work or homework. It mostly came down to not having the skills or discipline in place to help me achieve things. Now that I have found some techniques that work for me, I thought I would share them to help other people. The first thing is consistency. I start my day the same way every day. I eat breakfast and drink tea in bed and read a book. Then I make myself another cup of tea and move to my desk, which is where I start writing or editing, depending on what I'm working on currently. Doing the same thing every morning helps me build the habit to know what comes next. So if I have my breakfast, then I know after breakfast I'm going to have a tea and I'm going to sit down at my desk. The next thing is to know your habits and patterns. I try to do most of my writing and editing in the morning because I know that after lunch I lose all motivation. I also know that as I get more tired throughout the day, it's harder to concentrate and more easy to get distracted. Whenever I'm writing, my phone goes onto flight mode and I close all social media tabs and just tell myself to do what needs to be done. The next thing is setting a timer. I find when I sit down to work without a clear end in sight, it's so much harder for me to get anything done. It's as if because there isn't a deadline or an end in sight, I could just keep working forever. So setting a timer helps me put a limit on the amount of time that I need to work, and I know that within those 20 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on how much I can handle, I have to work, and after that I can relax, I can go on social media, I can do whatever I want. By putting a limit on the time I have to concentrate for, it tricks my brain into actually being more productive because I know that there's a break coming up. The next thing is rewarding good actions. I switched from procrastinating doing work by watching YouTube to using YouTube and social media as a reward for doing work. So now I get my work done first and then I can do whatever I want afterwards. It's much more satisfying to know that you've done what you needed to do and then you can relax guilt-free. The next thing is to look at the bigger picture. Whenever I'm feeling myself lacking a little bit of motivation, I remind myself where I want to end up. I want to have a full-time career as a writer and I keep that in mind at all times. So even if I am lacking motivation, it helps me sit down and try. Even if that writing session or editing session doesn't go exactly as I would want and isn't very productive, I know that I have this goal in mind and I can achieve it if I just keep remembering it every day. And the last thing is that I have to realize that not every day is going to be the same. Not every writing session is going to be amazing. I'm not going to produce thousands and thousands of words. Some days the motivation just isn't there. So if nothing else is working, I have to just remind myself that it's okay to not be productive every day. I've learned to ride the waves of creativity and motivation and not get frustrated if it's not happening. And allowing myself to have those breaks is actually more productive in the long run because I don't come back feeling defeated and feeling like nothing is going to be produced. I feel much more prepared to work if I've given myself time to rest and more ready to take on what I need to do. It's all about finding that balance between pushing yourself through the rough patches but also allowing yourself to have rest. You've got to find what works for you. You shouldn't feel uncomfortable in your day-to-day life, but you should also push your limits just that little bit more so that you can grow your skills in perseverance and consistency. So those are the things that help motivate me. Let me know about your goals and whether you've achieved them yet or not. And if you have any tips for anyone, please leave them in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!